The rain had been falling since before dawn, the kind that soaked into bones and memories alike, when a single father driving an aging sedan along a deserted highway noticed a woman stumbling barefoot on the roadside, her white gown ripped and clinging to her like a torn flag of surrender. She looked unreal against the gray sky, hair disheveled, face pale with terror, as if she had run straight out of a nightmare and into his headlights. In that instant, with his own past weighing heavily on his chest, he felt the road of his life quietly change direction. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet power of doing the right thing even when it costs you, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps stories like this alive. He was not a hero, not a wealthy man, not someone who expected fate to notice him at all. He was a widowed father named Adam, a mechanic by trade, driving home after an overnight shift with grease still under his nails and exhaustion behind his eyes. His life revolved around school lunches, overdue bills, and the soft breathing of his 6-year-old daughter sleeping in the backseat under a threadbare blanket. Since his wife's passing 2 years earlier, every day had felt like walking uphill against the wind. Yet when he slowed the car and rolled down the window, instinct spoke louder than caution. He pulled over, opened the passenger door, and offered her a ride, not knowing that the woman he was helping carried a story that could destroy him. She collapsed into the seat shaking, clutching the torn fabric to her chest as if it were the last proof she still existed. Adam drove without asking questions at first, glancing at her reflection in the rearview mirror, sensing a danger that was not yet visible but very real. Sirens echoed faintly somewhere far behind them, or maybe only in his imagination. He turned onto smaller roads, muscle memory guiding him, his heart pounding harder with every mile. When she finally spoke, her voice was raw, explaining in broken breaths that she had escaped a wedding moments before vows were spoken, fled a life chosen for her, run from a man whose wealth could buy silence, loyalty, even law. The truth unfolded slowly, like a wound being unwrapped. She was the bride of a billionaire, raised in privilege yet imprisoned by it, promised to a man whose smile never reached his eyes. The wedding had been grand, watched by powerful guests and guarded by men who were paid to ensure nothing went wrong. But something had gone wrong inside her. She could not step into a future built on control and fear. So she ran. Through gardens, over fences, tearing her gown, cutting her feet, until the road appeared like an unanswered prayer. And Adam's car had been the answer. Helping her meant danger. He knew it the moment she said who she was. The kind of man she ran from did not lose what he claimed as his. Adam thought of his daughter, of the fragile routine he fought every day to protect. Yet he also thought of the nights he sat awake remembering his wife's courage, how she once told him that kindness mattered most when it was hardest. Turning back now would haunt him forever. They reached his modest home just as the rain softened into mist. He let her rest, offered clean clothes that once belonged to his late wife, and watched her shoulders finally relax in a way that told him she had not felt safe in years. His daughter woke later and, with the innocent acceptance only children have, offered the stranger her favorite mug for tea. In that quiet kitchen, something fragile and powerful took root. For the first time in a long while, Adam felt warmth that was not sorrow. But safety was temporary. By afternoon, black vehicles crawled through the neighborhood like shadows. The billionaire's reach had found them. Adam's phone rang with unknown numbers, his mailbox filled with threats disguised as polite requests. He was offered money, more than he had ever seen, to simply say where she was. When he refused, pressure followed. His workplace received anonymous complaints. His landlord hinted at eviction. Fear crept into every corner of his life. She wanted to leave, to protect him and his child, but Adam could not send her back to a cage. Together, they made a plan. Evidence existed, hidden carefully, of the billionaire's abuses, the contracts, the manipulation. It would take courage to bring it to light, and it would take someone with nothing left to lose to help her do it. Adam realized then that although he was poor in money, he was rich in resilience. He had already survived the worst loss imaginable. Fear no longer owned him. Days turned into a blur of secrecy and resolve. Lawyers were contacted quietly. Journalists who still believed in truth listened. The woman, once hidden behind silk and diamonds, spoke openly for the first time. Adam stood beside her, not as a savior, but as a witness, as proof that decency still existed outside the walls of power. When the story broke, it shook the city. The billionaire's image cracked, then shattered under the weight of facts he could not bury. Retaliation came swiftly. Adam lost his job. Threats intensified. Yet support arrived too, from strangers moved by the story of a single father who had risked everything to help a woman in need. Donations poured in. Legal protection was granted. The billionaire retreated, his empire bleeding credibility, his control slipping away. Through it all, Adam's daughter watched, learning lessons no school could teach. She saw her father stand firm when it would have been easier to bow. She saw a woman reclaim her life, step by step, learning who she was beyond a surname and a bank account. And Adam felt something he thought was gone forever, hope, cautious but alive. Months later, the rain returned, softer this time, washing the city clean. The woman, now free in ways she was still discovering, stood beside Adam at a small park, watching his daughter laugh. There was no fairy tale ending written in gold, no sudden wealth or instant romance. What existed instead was quieter and more real. Trust, healing, the knowledge that one small act of kindness on a lonely road had changed multiple lives. Adam's struggles did not vanish. Bills still came. Grief still visited him in the quiet hours. But he carried himself differently now, knowing that courage was not loud or dramatic. Sometimes it was simply stopping the car in the rain. If this story has touched your heart even a little, if it reminded you that humanity still matters in a world driven by power and fear, please take a moment to like this video, share it, and subscribe. Your engagement helps stories like this reach others who may be losing faith. And before this story ends, leave a comment below sharing whether you would have stopped that car too, and what kindness means to you. Because somewhere tonight, on a dark road under heavy rain, someone is waiting for a stranger brave enough to slow down, open the door, and choose compassion over comfort.